Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Nancy's in the house. Hello, Mother Hen. Cheers. Here's to you. And here's to everybody. Welcome. It is Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Joanne, yay! I'm so glad to see you. Kathy's in the house as well. I'm so glad everybody's here. Jocelyn, we're gonna have a party. I'm feeling it. It's the weather's a little chilly today. It was 45 when I got up today. What is up with that? I'm not ready for summer to end. Martha, Trisha, goodness gracious, all of our lovelies are coming. You know, I was thinking just before. I guess you can't see the top of my head. Do you need to see the top of my head? I don't know. There it is. I was thinking just before the show started and we had the intro going, I was thinking to myself, there is a lot of lovelies that I haven't seen in a while. I'd sure like to see them. And then there pops up Joanne. So you made my day, Joanne. I just want you to know that. Martha's in the house too. And there's my girl. Of course, Jeanette is here. Jane is in the house. Trisha had 1 week, 3 days until your daughter's wedding. Oh my goodness, how lovely. We just had my bonus daughter's wedding 2 Saturdays ago, I guess it was. We were in Boulder for that occasion and it was beautiful. Anyway, weddings are lovely. They signify the beginnings of something new, don't they? Yeah, I like a good wedding. All right, so you guys are here, and that's great because we have a lot to get to. You know, I am going through. I've shown you my big vanilla, folder full of notes. I'm pulling out the pandemic shows, all the pandemic shows that I did when the pandemic was raging. Do you remember that? They were shorter shows, and we have no show notes for them. So I'm sure this is going to be a fresh one for you. Hello, Catherine. I'm so glad you're here too. So anyway, I'm excited about this because this is one of these, and I will tell you when we come to the whole thing, but we're going to be talking about permission today. And we're going to talk about it in a completely different way. And it was a cosmic 2x4 for me. So I'm hoping it'll do the same for you and be a cosmic 2x4. Because, I don't know. We just need that. We just need that sometimes. And there's my girl, Doris. So good to have you here, Doris, as well. Do you know something that when I see you on here, because I know you, I see your face, I hear your voice. I know I have details about you. We've been praying for Joanne, of course, Joanne's and her husband, and I'm glad he's doing well now. In this lifetime, we're going to have things happen, and sometimes we have tragic endings to things and sometimes we don't. But the thing is that having a community means that we have people to reach out to. It means we have people on the other side of this screen that really care. And I just want you to know how important that is to me, that you reach out to each other and you do that with each other. You do that with me. And I just say thank you to you for that, because it is a beautiful thing to see community in action. I think so. I think it's just absolutely crucial and very, very much very important that we do this. It's how we know that we're humans, right? Yes. Anyway, our Joanne, we missed you. We missed Joanne too. She was quite busy. We missed her for Full Bloom, but we got to see Tiffany, so that was really exciting. Ellen, yes, she's right. Ellen's 100% right. She said this community is wonderful. And we love supporting our Ellen as well, over all the way in Switzerland. And it's such a nice thing to know that someone cares about you, isn't it? It really is. So cheers. Here's to our community. Here's to the fact that we have one and that we're all blessed to be able to call each other friends and family. So there. Didn't mean to get all gooey on you, but sure I did. Anyway, I want to just remind you that it is never too late to get started on your goals. The Take Back Your Life Journal is still available, but not for long. We're getting really low. savingdinner.com/journal. All I can say is just go there and just read it if you haven't checked it out yet, because I'll tell you, the journal is a needle mover for you, because it's taking these. We have 90 days left for the end of the year, y'all. 90. How about ending it well? How about ending it with accomplishment and achievement and the things that you want to happen in your life? You know. And furthermore, and Jenny just put in a little thingy there that says the rising tide starts tonight. We still have room for a couple more people. You could start right now. Go to savingdinner.com/rising tide and go take a peek-see at it. It might be for you. It might not. But the Rising Tide is a 3-week intensive program where we take 2 hours and we just go through and get down to business on the goals. And I'll tell you what, it's a game changer, right, Nancy? Ask Mother Hen. She crushed it last time, and she's back again for more. So the journal goes with Rising Tide, of course, and you can find everything at savingdinner.com/rising tide. Okay, there you go. I am going to be bringing. Yes, and by the way, I did forget yesterday, but I will not forget today. A fabulous quote from C.S. Lewis. There are far, far better things ahead than we leave behind. Now think about this in context with what we're going to talk about today, and in context of talking about our goals and what it is that we want and living a vibrant life. A lot of times, to live a vibrant life, it requires that we leave behind the things that no longer serve us. It requires that. And it's like, right? Of course, we can't do that. And I just want you to remember something too, that this body that you're in is your vehicle for life. You cannot trade it in. So if your body's feeling bogged down, tired, etc., then it's time to shake things up and take a look. What's going on here? What is going on here? Always making that assessment, always taking a peek-see, always being bone honest with yourself. I'll tell you, it changes the whole world. It does. Doesn't it, Flynn? She knows. Flynn's strong, man. Talk about Flynn. I'm so glad you're here. So we are going to, I've got my phone a little bit closer. Hopefully that'll be a little less distracting. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time getting into TikTok on my laptop. Oh, it's just, you don't want to hear all the stories about it. But we're just going to do the best that we can with what we've got, right? And not complain. So remember, the shows that I'm doing now are all from 2020 that I did way back in the day. I'm just going to show you this. Look, these are my, whoa, I almost dropped them. Look, these are all my 2020 shows, all of them in here. And I pulled them all out because I was wondering, what is that humongous file that I have in my file cabinet? Pulled them out and looked at them and said, you know what? We got some good stuff here. And they're short, they're sweet, they're to the point. So how about if I get to it? What do you say? All right, let's go ahead and bring on board our lovely TikTok. And we are going to be talking about today how permission is everything. Permission is everything. You ready for that? I am. So welcome, TikTok, and of course YouTube and Facebook. We're going down the road. You remember, of course, Stephen Covey's book. He had the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. One of the things that he talks about in that book is one of his principles are first things first. So I like that. It's a good principle. And his whole thing about first things first is that you organize and execute around your most important priorities. That makes sense, right? It makes sense. But the thing is, you have to go to the place of, well, how do you do that? Because oftentimes urgent takes over priorities. Have you noticed that? Oh my gosh, I forgot. I've got carpool today. I've got to go do this or I've got to go do that and blah, 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 blah. And we lose our perspective. We lose our way and our priorities just get chucked to the side. And we then find ourselves in the place of more of urgency and not with our priorities. So let's talk about how we get to this place of the first things. Well, first of all, we have to understand that our priorities have to become a decision, a choice about what they are, right? We have to go through and say, okay, so what are my priorities? What needs to be done? How do I put it into my day and make them happen? We have to ask those questions. Otherwise, we can't, we have no way on God's green earth to ever get the answer otherwise. But we need to recognize that that's just for starters. That's just for starters. That's just fuel for thought. That is fuel. That's stuff for our brains to start thinking about. Okay, so what are my priorities? Well, I know I want to be fit. I know I want to take care of my body. I know I want to, and we start thinking about the things, and we don't have to necessarily make them into goals at this time. At this point, we're just sort of brain dumping it all out and just saying, what the heck is this all about? But we need to recognize that that's just for starters, because we then have to create, here it is, permissions. Permissions. Understand that everything that we do is done with consent and done with authorization, right? Think about it. Think how careful we are about our permissions, right? When you have a child going on a field trip, there's permission slips that need to be signed. We have permissions on apps. Is this okay to download and put on your phone? Have you noticed that? Always, yes. They'll say, even on TikTok, for example, should we share this with all your contacts? Allow or don't allow. So that's a permission that I can give or deny the TikTok app. And same with Facebook, same idea. There's things that we can turn on and turn off, and it's all permission based. Permission to come aboard, sir. You've ever heard that one before? Permission to be excused, permission to use the restroom when you're a kid. All kinds of things are based on permissions. But there's a permission that we let lapse or sag or go unguarded often. And that is the permission we give ourselves to live in the most fully vibrant way. We deny ourselves that. And instead, we give permission to the things that don't help, that destroy and take us down. Have you noticed that? We think it's too hard. We think it's too whatever. But we so often give ourselves the very things that take us down and allow for that instead of denying permission for their entry. Think about that for a minute, because everything is a choice. We're not being held prisoner by anything. Nobody's got a gun to our head and saying, eat those French fries. Nobody's doing that. So we need new permissions to override all those old ones. And I dare say we need loving permissions in our lives. Because I'm going to tell you something. Yesterday we sort of talked about circadian rhythms and, all of that, and how early birds and what have you, they have an easier time with it. Well, when we give ourselves permission, for example, to sleep, to hydrate, to exercise, to eat well, to feed our heart, minds, bodies, and souls, we automatically put boundaries into place, because this works and this doesn't. Have you noticed that? We don't have to think, well, I need to have boundaries here. I need to do whatever. No, we don't. What we need to do is we need to say permission for this, but denying that. And when we do that, we automatically put those boundaries in place. So that makes it a little bit easier. We need to give ourselves permission to start saying no more often. Have you noticed? Somebody calls you and it's from the church, it's from school, it's from whatever. Oh, we just need one more volunteer and then we'll be able to X, Y, and Z. And in order for you to do this, if you think about it, if you take a moment and breathe and say, you know what, I'm gonna have to get back to you and check my calendar and whatever, allow your brain to process all of this. Because oftentimes our knee-jerk people pleasing way of doing things is, oh, yes, I'd be happy to help. Then we hang up and say, oh my gosh, why did I say yes to that? Have you noticed that? Come on, be honest. Pinky's up on this one. Have you noticed that you do this? I do it all the time. I do it all the time. And what I've noticed is that when I say yes, when I really mean no, is that it's an energy sucker. It just takes you down and it makes you feel bad and you have some regret. And, it's not like your life is over, but it's a habitual pattern and permission needs to be denied. We need to start giving ourselves permission to say no, even when it seems like the best thing that we could do. And for the team and for the this and for the that is to say yes and be a part of it. Well, guess what? If it gets in the middle of you creating vibrancy in your life, which means that you're going to go find your purpose, which means that you're here on purpose and for purpose, and therefore, this is critical. You've got to be doing this. So start to say no more often. Anybody with me on that one? Just tell me that, yes, I'm going to start saying no more often, or I say no all the time anyway, whatever. But I just want to know, do you do that? Or how about this one? Use your voice. There are so many times in my life, and I know in yours, where you haven't used your voice. I'm going to give you a scenario. This is a long time ago. And I was sitting in the chair, getting my hair done. Color was like all over the board. She was, oh, we've got to put some low lights in there and this, that, and the other thing. And my hair turned out didn't look like me. And then the way she cut my hair, it was uneven. And then at the end, when she's asking me how I liked it, all I wanted to do was get out of there, right? I said, oh, it's great. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. I got in the car driving home, started crying. Now, here's the deal. My voice needed to be heard in that moment. I needed to say, I don't know what you just did, but I argued with you at the beginning with your idea of all these low light things. It didn't work. You took away my color. And now I have an uneven haircut. I'm not happy. You need to fix this. Use your voice with small things like this and with big things like, hey, you're crossing a boundary. I don't give you permission to do this or to speak to me this way or to whatever it is. And I'm going to tell you right now that these are things that we just clamp down on and we don't use our voices on. I was raised like this. Were you raised like this? I mean, a lot of us were. Using your voice is a foreign thing. And we don't have to be brutal when we do it. We don't have to take them down a notch and say, what's wrong with you? We just need to say, hey, you know what? This just isn't okay. How do we fix this? How do we get, out of this situation and into a different one? That's what we need to do. In order to create the exact vibrant life we want, we have to be saying no. We have to be using our voice, and we have to be saying yes to the best. Don't settle. Don't settle for a half life. Settle for a full life. Settle for all the things that you want. Make it clear. Create a vibrant vision of what you want your life to look like. Create in your heart, and don't be afraid of it, the desire and the emotion that you can put behind it, and go after it with everything that you've got. Can I ask you a question? And this is sincere, absolutely from my heart to yours. Have you noticed that when you go after something that's tough, it's difficult, but you're relentless, you don't give up, you've got grit, not quit? Have you noticed the woman you become is the woman that you are and have been all along? You just never tapped her for that. Have you noticed that this woman that comes out of you that you didn't even recognize, that you see in her this incredible possibility, that you see in her something that you thought everybody else had and that you didn't have? Have you noticed that? I'm inviting you to this realization of just exactly who you are, because you are beautiful, You're created on purpose and for purpose. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And what is inside of you and that thing that's in there, when you hang tough with your goals, with yourself, with everything that you want, you will get it. You will get it. And you become a better version of yourself than you are right now. So I say to you, permission to come aboard, granted. Go have the life that you want by simply giving permission to the right things. And remember this, you have that power. It is yours and yours alone. No one can take it away from you unless you give it to someone else. Do not abdicate authority of your own life to someone else. You're worth every single effort that you put behind the vibrant vision for the life that you want. You are worth it. And I want you to remember this too, that the opposing forces can only oppose your permission. It's true. They can oppose your permission, but they can't override it because your permission is everything. Everything. You are much stronger than you think. You are so much more wanted and desired than you think. You have so much more to offer than you think. You're incredible. And you are the one that holds the permission slips in your hands for everything in life that you want. And I want you to have it all. Okay? Is that a deal? Can we do that together? All right. That's all I have for you. I told you it was short and sweet. But here's the deal. We are starting tonight. We are starting the rising tide. We're going to get into the last 90 days of the year and get with the program, because I'm telling you, you are a woman of accomplishment. And if you're ready to make that happen and you really, really want to end the year right, we still have a few seats left. Go to savingdinner.com/rising tide. And you need the journal to go with this. But if you don't have it, don't worry. We'll set you up. We'll get you set for tonight. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll tell you what, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the prospect of you giving yourself permission to have absolutely everything that you want. Isn't life good? I think so. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all. And I so appreciate this community and the fact that you show up. Peace be with you. I will see you later. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.